Good morning, students. Today in this class we are going to study about the animal tissues. In the earlier part of this chapter number 6, we have discussed, we have studied about the plant tissues and their classification. In this part of the lesson, we will learn about the animal tissues and their classification, that means their different types. The 2 points I have written here for today's discussion: number 1, introduction, and number 2, types of animal tissues. The complexities of the animal organization, animal body organization, is more than that of the plant tissue, than that of the plant. And due to that reason, in the cellular level, may you talk about the cellular level, if we will talk about the tissue level, if we will talk about the organ system level, there is a greater complexities in the animal organization. So here, in case of the animal tissue also, we will see a greater complications in comparison to that of the plant tissue. Now, there are some examples, and with the help of that examples, may you try to understand that how the tissue distributed in the different part of our body. Like when we breathe, what will happen at that time? जब हम लोग सांस लेते हैं उस समय क्या होता है? एक फिजिकल जो एक फेनोमेनन है, उसका हम लोग ऑब्जर्वेशन करें, अगर हम इनहेलेशन और एक्सहेलेशन दोनों को देखें और दोनों को देखने के बाद हमारा ये जो चेस्ट कैविटी है, इसमें जो होने वाले चेंजिंग है उसको नोट करें. इफ वी ऑब्जर्व द चेंजिंग, like what happened in these two while I inhaled and while I exhaled? There is a contraction of this thoracic cavity, and again there is a relaxation. So this type of arrangement in the body only due to the presence of a particular type of tissue that is known as the muscular tissue. Just this is the example. In case of the when you in our body or in the body of the other animals, how energy requirement will be fulfilled? With the help of the nutrients, with the help of the food. These food particles absorbed, digested and absorbed in the intestine, and from that it will move, it will transport it to the different parts of the body, to the each and every cell. How is it possible? Who will perform this duty? From the intestinal side to all the cellular level, if it will reach, how it will reach? It will reach only due to the presence of a special type of tissue, that is the connective tissue, that is the blood and lymph. Similarly, you have a structure. Each and every animal or the organisms have their own body design, their structure, but in that structure there is a endoskeleton, there is a framework of the body. That framework is also made by the particular type of tissue, that is the bone and cartilage. It is also a type of animal tissue, connective tissue, that is the part of the animal tissue. The entire body surface, like that of the plant, where you have seen the dermis tissue. Our body or the body of the other living animals also covered by a protective layer of tissue, that is the epithelium tissue. And in comparison to the plant, the epithelium tissue is much more complex, as because in the plant the epidermal tissue covered the outer surfaces or the entire surfaces of the body, but in animal the epithelium tissue not only the outer covering sheet or the protective layer, but it also covers the important internal organs, cavities of the body. So here may you see somewhat greater complexities in case of the animal tissue in comparison to that of the plant. So then you may have seen that there are so many tissue in the body that can help, like the when I give example for the expansion and contraction of our thoracic cavity, our chest, due to the breathing, inhalation, exhalation, at that time there is a tissue, that is the muscular tissue. Similarly, when there is a process of transportation within the body, there is another type of tissue, that is the connective tissue, like the blood and lymph. The bone and the cartilaginous made our framework of the body, endoskeleton of the body. This endoskeleton of the body also requires some other supportive tissue, like when the bone and two bones are joined together, that also require, at that time there is a requirement of a tissue, like the ligament. Similarly, there is a connection, there is attachment of the muscles to bone. There is also another type of tissue. So in the animal tissue, there are several types of tissue, and their classification is also complex in comparison to the plant tissue. We will see later on when we will classify this one. Now, depending upon the different distribution, structure, functions, locations, the main 4 different types of animal tissue. Number 1, epithelial tissue. It is also known as only epithelium. The second important type of animal tissue is the connective tissue. Connective tissue. And the third important type of tissue is the muscular tissue. And the fourth one is the nervous tissue. Fourth one is the nervous tissue. It is responsive tissue, that any message, any stimulus detected by this tissue, and accordingly there will be responses from the organism side. So there are 4 important types of animal tissue. Now we will discuss about each and every type of tissue. What are the content of the syllabus? That is to know about the epithelial tissue and its different type, and also to know about the connective tissue and its important types, and muscular tissue also the 3 different types. There is no types of the nervous tissue, only a brief descriptions of the nervous tissue required. There are some complexities here, as because the classification in case of the epithelial tissue is The criteria is two different criteria, like cell number of layer of cells and also the shape of the cell, that will decide the type of the epithelial tissue. That's what. And here also there is a classification of the connective tissue, like connective tissue proper, like connective tissue, skeletal connective tissue, or the fluid connective tissue, etc., etc. So these are the some fact about the 4 different types of animal tissue.